Hey, what's going on, everyone? So today we're going to be taking a look at Mr. Final Fantasy himself, Cloud Strife. He's far and away the most popular character played in Dissidia when you look at some of the recent polls taken. Reason being, he's not only beloved by most Final Fantasy fans, but he's actually really strong in this game too. Cloud is a heavy type character, which means his attacks are going to pack a lot of punch, but he's not going to be as mobile as, say, Squall or Tidus. Cloud's moveset is built around kind of being a strong mid-range fighter. Most of his moves have some sort of gap closer built in so that he can pounce on anyone that's right in that sweet spot of not too far away, but also not close enough to disrupt him. He also has a couple of long range moves he can use for poke damage and to stun enemies for a second so that he or a teammate could follow up. Cloud's specialty is that he can charge most of his bravery attacks whenever he starts them, so he's taking a little extra time so his attacks will do a little extra damage. Cloud's most popular HP attacks also have a decent amount of startup time, so between that and his charging mechanic, you're really going to have your timing down whenever you play as Cloud. If you try to charge your moves haphazardly or just start throwing out unsafe HP attacks, it's going to be really easy for your opponents to punish you. But if you can lock your target into a bad position or time your attacks just right, you can deal a ton of damage. So shout out to the YouTuber Ruxel for the Cloud footage I'm going to use. He's a top ranked Cloud player with a ton of videos up on his channel, so you should check him out if you really like Cloud. So let's move into our first match here and watch him in action. So our first matchup here is going to be a mirror match. Both teams have Cloud, Sephiroth, and Tidus on their teams. So that's 2 heavies and 1 speed. So expect to see a lot of melee, grouped up combat going on here. Now first off, what you're going to see a lot of times with Cloud is he has these long range tools like Finishing Touch here, which is that tornado he just sent out. He's going to usually start the battle just by throwing those out, just trying to poke opponents and see if he can hit somebody and lead into an attack. So right here you actually see that happen. He connects with Tidus with his Finishing Touch, and it leaves him stunned for just long enough for Cloud to hit with his HP attack. Now he just caught the opposing team's Cloud in a wall rush, was able to connect with his cross slash attack. So everybody's kind of grouped up here. You see everyone just kind of throwing out their attacks and seeing what'll stick. Getting a quick attack there on Sephiroth, building up some bravery. He sees the opposing team's Cloud, which has low HP. He's kind of focusing them. So he's got Tidus. Okay, so Tidus is completely backed into a corner here. Nowhere he could really run. So with such a long range, or kind of gap closing ability on cross slash, Tidus really couldn't escape it. So it was a good awareness by our team's Cloud to just throw that out there and know that Tidus couldn't get away from it. So once again, just throwing out some attacks, building up some bravery here. Cloud just tried to throw out his HP attack, but it was kind of just out in the open and there was no setup for it, so Sephiroth was able to dodge it. And you saw how long that cross-slash animation lasted, so the opposing team's Cloud had plenty of time to come and attack him during the animation. Kind of the same thing there, you saw that he thought the red team Cloud was preoccupied with the summoning stone, but he was actually able to move away, dodge blue team Cloud's cross-slash, and connect with his own. So you can kind of see the risk of just throwing out cross-slash in the open area whenever there's no setup. So as usual, you see everyone kind of group up together and buff up. Red team has Rama active now, so you're going to kind of see blue team move away here, trying not to pick any fights. Cloud is pretty good at this because he has some of his long range moves like the Finishing Touch, so it kind of keeps people at bay and not try to approach him. You see blue team's Tidus is kind of split up from the team here. We'll see if red team can kind of capitalize on that or not. Tidus is really mobile, so he's kind of difficult to hit. Cloud just trying to dodge Rama's attacks here. Everyone's kind of grouping up again. You see he's just still throwing out his Finishing Touch. He connects with Cloud, which kind of stuns him for a second. Gives him just enough time though to reach with his cross slash, connect with Cloud, and finish off the game by killing him. So that just kind of shows you how good of a gap closer Cloud is and how much range he can cover in such a short distance. For melee attacks, he has a really big range with his moves. And you also kind of see that Finishing Touch is a really good combo starter because of how long it can leave an enemy stunned. It gave Cloud plenty of time to charge up his cross slash and connect before the opposing team's Cloud could really do anything to get out of the way. So jumping right into the next matchup here, we've got Cloud, Terra, Kain on the blue team going up against Garland, Terra, and Kuja for the red team. So both teams definitely have a lot more range in the situation. Everyone's going to have to be kind of careful not to get hit by the poke that everyone's going to be throwing out. So right away you can kind of expect Cloud to use some of his long range attacks here. He's going to opt to use Blade Beam instead of Finishing Touch just because this map is flatter and he doesn't really need that home in effect that has the vertical mobility like Finishing Touch does. Instead, Blade Beam has more of an attack range. You see it shoots out 3 different directions, so it's easier to get a hit off of that. So anyways, that's what he's going to use as his poke tool here. Everyone just kind of staying away from each other and just using their poke. Kuja kind of snuck in and hits Cloud with an attack. As a speed character, that's kind of what he's going to try to do, is just sneak in attacks as much as he can. Cloud is moving in here. Everyone is kind of trying to attack the Summoning Stone. So this is a kind of a cool little interaction here. So Kuja was doing a combo on Terra and was likely going to lead into a wall rush and an HP attack. So Cloud interrupts Kuja. He gets his attack off on him. You see he's about to knock Kuja into a wall rush himself. But following up behind him is Garland, who's going to attack Cloud and lead him into a wall rush. But you see here, Kain and Terra both use their long range attacks to interrupt Garland, so it was a big chain of attacks that pretty much led to nothing, because it was really good defensive team play by both teams. Everyone kind of protecting their teammates there. So that's kind of what you always have to do, is be aware of what's going on with your team. You see Garland was getting locked down there. Cloud tried to use Cross Slash to do some HP damage, but Terra responded with Meteor. And because Cross Slash has such a long time to actually deal the damage, she was able to actually interrupt him and do damage herself. So kind of like I was saying in the past game, you have to be mindful of the long attack animations that Cloud has. So blue team has their summon gauge full here. We'll see if they try to get off a summon soon. Cloud's just kind of trying to dodge away from Kuja here. Kuja's trying to use his mobility to get around. Cloud does catch him finally with his range, is able to knock him away. So now they're going to summon Rama here. We'll see what they can do with it. Rama is really helpful for Cloud because he kind of locks the opponents down, so he has these long attack animations. But if the opponents are locked down or disrupted by Rama's attacks, then he'll have plenty of time to get his attacks off. So we'll see if he can utilize that here. Kuja is still kind of hunting Cloud down. Cloud's trying to play a little more defensive and stay away from him. You see Cloud's just kind of trying to dodge the opponent's poke here. He's throwing out some of his own long range attacks, just trying to counteract the poke. So Cloud's just kind of looking around, seeing if anyone's going to get out of position, see if he can catch someone out. Garland does actually get caught by Rama's attack there, but if you look on the minimap, you see number 2, who's Terra, is right behind them and could easily interrupt anything that Cloud does. And which kind of happened earlier in the game whenever Cloud was doing an HP attack on Garland and Terra's Meteor interrupted him. So what Cloud kind of does is tries to move away from Garland instead of following up the attack, because he knows he's going to get interrupted. So he kind of just tries to move to the side and avoid whatever Terra's going to do. It doesn't really end up working out for him because he gets caught by Garland instead. But you can kind of see he was definitely thinking of that scenario. Fortunately for him, Garland definitely overreached there trying to attack him with another bravery attack, and Cloud was able to follow up with a cross slash on that because none of the red team was around. So off screen there, Terra was actually able to use Meteor on Garland and finish him off, so that was the first kill there by the blue team. Terra here was just stuck in her shield. There's really no way she could run away. Cloud kind of had her locked down in that position. She couldn't really escape the cross slash, so she just kind of took it. Everyone's kind of moving away towards the summoning stone here. Red team still needs to fill up their summon gauge, so we'll see if they try to do that. Garland was just kind of by himself there in the middle of the map there, so Cloud was actually able to hit him with his cross slash and deal just enough HP damage to finish him off. Wall rush there on Kuja, but nobody has enough bravery to really do anything to him. Cloud's just kind of bullying him away, keeping him from his team. Is able to actually connect with a bravery attack, break his bravery, so he built up a ton of bravery on Kuja, and then finish him off with a cross slash while he was on the wall. So actually it was a good move by Cloud to stay on Kuja, knowing that there was really nowhere he could go. And since Garland had just died, blue team knew they were in like a 3 versus 2 situation, so no one was really going to be able to help out Kuja in that situation because Terra and Kain were able to bully off the red team's Terra, and Garland was still dead. So Kuja didn't really have a chance in that situation, so good map awareness and situational awareness by the blue team there. So as you can kind of see, Cloud is a pretty straightforward character. If he's got a lot of range in between him and his opponents, he can use some of his long range attacks like Finishing Touch and Blade Beam to do some poke damage or lead into a combo. And then he has really good melee attacks that can close the gap on opponents and helps him combo with some of his long range attacks. He seems like the kind of character that can fit pretty well in a bunch of different team compositions just because he doesn't really have a ton of huge glaring flaws. He's just kind of a straightforward, strong character. So let's jump into the third match here. Blue team has Cloud, Warrior of Light, and Titus. Red team has Garland, Sephiroth, and Zidane. So another really balanced matchup here with 2 heavies, 1 speed on both teams. Probably going to be another in-your-face kind of matchup here. At the very beginning, as usual, you can kind of expect everyone to throw out their poke. Warrior of Light also has some pretty decent pokes, so Cloud and Warrior of Light are going to be doing that a lot here. everyone's kind of converging a little bit here now, but you see everyone's still just kind of still poking around. No one's feeling too confident and just rushing in, especially because that can be kind of a dangerous thing. So once again, everyone's just kind of throwing out their long range attacks and just seeing what'll stick. If Cloud could catch anyone out of position here, he might go in, but nothing really happened. So the Summoning Stone just popped up here, and I just wanted to highlight this because I think it's incredible. So everyone was kind of rushing towards the Summoning Stone, and you see Sephiroth right here to the left of Cloud on the opposing team. He's number 5 on the minimap, but he just, as soon as I just paused it, he just switched targets from the Summoning Stone to Cloud. He was just going to kind of blindside him. And Cloud has this incredible reaction time here to shield Sephiroth's attack in mere milliseconds. See how quickly he threw up his shield there? It's just, I thought that was pretty insane how fast his reaction time was there. But anyways, you always have to watch out for that when everyone's rushing the Summoning Stone. It leaves you a pretty easy target to be blindsided. So good on him to always be keeping an eye out for that. So Garland tried to use his shield there, which isn't going to help him against Cross Slash. So a good mix up there by Cloud to use an HP attack instead of a Bravery attack. So once again, throwing out some finishing touches here. He was going to try to follow up with it on Garland, but he was a little slow, so he was actually able to cancel his Cross Slash attack and not go for it because he knew he would get attacked because it has such a long animation. So Summoning Stone on the other side of the map now, everyone's rushing in again towards that. Red team has actually filled up their gauge here, so they'll have to be careful. Cloud tried to dive in, but he wasn't quite able to reach his target, so he got hit away with a Bravery attack. Everybody here is grouped up in the corner, so everyone's just kind of throwing out some attacks here. Looks like Warrior of Light picked up a kill on Garland in that big skirmish there, but other than that, not too much happened. Cloud's actually able to blindside Sephiroth with a Cross Slash there. Sephiroth started to kind of dash away in the other direction and didn't see it coming, so nice awareness by Cloud on that. Cloud just got knocked away by Garland. He's way out of the fight now. Instead of trying to run down and get back in it, he just turns around, goes to the Summoning Stone, and goes ahead and fills up his team's summon gauge. And now he just gets his team to summon there, so now they have Rama active, which is going to give them a huge boost here. We saw how effective that was in the last game. We'll see if they're able to utilize it again here. So Cloud's got to kind of rush back over into the fight here. You see the blue team's kind of moving away towards him, so they stay grouped up instead of keeping the red team in between them. So we'll see if it kind of goes back to more of a long-range poke game here. It's kind of what it's seeming like. No one's really rushing in again. Looks like Cloud was able to build up his Bravery quite a lot by connecting with one of those finishing touches there. Everyone's kind of grouping up again, so we'll see if he can find somebody to hit. Sephiroth tried to attack Cloud but missed, so that gave Cloud the perfect opportunity to respond with his HP attack while Sephiroth was vulnerable. Looks like blue team is kind of just trying to scramble around to pick up this kill. Everyone was kind of looking at Garland for a second, but now he just kind of moved away. Cloud throws out his Cross Slash attack. Garland was disoriented for a second. It did a lot of HP damage, but it wasn't quite enough to pick up the kill. There's a lot of really low health bars on red team here, so we'll see if anyone can make anything happen. Looks like Cloud actually was able to wall rush Garland and follow up with a Cross Slash on him there. So a nice move by Cloud, just bread and butter, typical combo. Caught Garland when he wasn't able to avoid it, and then follow up with a Cross Slash on that. So good play there by the blue team. Like I was saying, Cloud looks like a really fun character. He looks like a really straightforward character. Just goes for a lot of basic, melee attacks into wall rush into kills, or uses his long range attacks whenever he has the opportunity to. Cloud seems like he's probably a good beginner character just because his moveset's pretty basic and he doesn't really have anything that affects his team. It's more just, pushing out damage on the opponents and doing the bread and butter combos that any character can do with wall rushing into HP attacks. But he definitely does require some skill, and if you're good with him, it will show, just because you have to really know when to charge your attacks and when to use your long startup animations on your HP attacks. You have to be really careful with that because it's so easy to get punished, like I was saying at the beginning of the video. And you definitely saw some instances in these videos where Cloud was kind of rolling the dice and just throwing out his Cross Slash kind of out in the open just to see if it would connect on anybody and deal some HP damage. It's definitely a risk to do that because it's so easy to dodge in that scenario. But yeah, I definitely think Cloud can be a strong character, especially if you have a team that can build around him. If I had to guess, he and Ramza and maybe like a speed character like Squall or something like that would work as a really good team comp just because they could push out so much damage. So yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. Check out the link in the description below if you want to see more Cloud videos from the same YouTuber. He does a really good job playing Cloud. Like I said, he's one of the top ranks in the game, so he definitely knows what he's doing. I'm sure there are some subtle nuances that I missed calling out just because I haven't played the game yet, and clearly he's played way more games than I have with Cloud, so I'm sure there's a bunch going on that I probably missed. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea of how Cloud plays and just what he can do to benefit a team. So as always, thanks for watching. If you guys have any requests or suggestions on characters or videos you want me to do, let me know about it. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.